Prince Harry's much-awaited memoir, Spare, is set to hit shelves on Tuesday. Ahead of its release, the Duke of Sussex is sharing some of his memories about growing up in the royal family.
Many of his memories, and some British media outlets secured early copies of the book, and they're already revealing bombshell details from it. CNN's Max Foster has more.
Leaked copies of Harry's memoir, Spare, didn't fail to shock. The tabloids had a field day. From his scuffle with Prince William to pleading with Charles not to marry Camilla. The Daily Mail called Harry the Prince of Pettiness. The Sun claimed he was throwing his own family under a bus for millions of dollars. For Harry, the negative reaction would have been predictable. Since a tabloid first exposed his relationship with Meghan, he's been at war with the papers.
I had no idea the British press was so bigoted. I didn't see what I now see.
But the latest revelation, his claim that he killed 25 insurgents and viewed video of these missions as a soldier in Afghanistan, has created a backlash amongst some of his former comrades. The Telegraph newspaper picked up this quote by Harry. "It seemed to me essential not to be afraid of that number, so my number is 25. It's not a number that fills me with satisfaction, but nor does it embarrass me." He says he viewed these targets as chess pieces rather than people.
The description he gave of British military training, of training their soldiers to treat the enemy like not human beings, like chess pieces to be swept aside, I think that was, not only was it wrong, but it also gives ammunition to jihadists who want to carry out attacks, who want to radicalise people and recruit them to their cause.
Harry served in the British Army for 10 years and completed 2 tours in Afghanistan, and as previously said, he did kill insurgents. The Taliban he once fought against are now in power, and they've criticised his comments. "Mr. Harry, the ones you killed were not chess pieces, they were humans. They had families who were waiting for their return," a senior official said. From the serious to the salacious, Harry also describes losing his virginity in the book behind a pub to an older woman at the age of 17. And we learn he asked for a driver to recreate the journey his mother, Princess Diana, took through the tunnel twice in Paris where she died. That's according to an excerpt in People magazine. By his own admission, he may be oversharing, but that's what makes this book so remarkable. Royals never overshare. They barely say anything about their private lives at all.
Max Foster, thank you for that. Joining me now is royal commentator Hilary Fordwich. Really appreciate you joining this morning. Look, I saw the Netflix documentary, first of all, which preceded the release of this memoir due out on Tuesday. That documentary was ostensibly about getting Harry and Meghan's side out, right? About why they left the royal family, how they felt Meghan was villainized by the paparazzi and the media. This memoir, I mean, just the stuff that's been leaked out, it is so incredibly intimate. Some might say TMI, a lot of salacious details about Harry's personal life. What do you think was the objective for this explosive tell-all memoir?
Well, pleasure to be back with you again, Amara. A few things here. You asked many questions there in a big picture. I actually covered their wedding for CNN, and from one of the clips that you just showed and Max reported on, where Prince Harry says, you know, from the very beginning, the press was bigoted. Well, covering their wedding, and up until then, absolutely not. The people in Windsor, I mean, they were 15 deep cheering. There wasn't a whisper in the press. And even in their very own documentary, Piers Morgan was quoted as saying Meghan is going to be a rock star. So there was immense support for them. I can't think of one example, nor any of the correspondents around me, nobody even mentioned anything negative with them at all. I think it's been their actions and what they've done since, and their actions that actually the entire world has witnessed. We've watched them do it to themselves. So my overriding feedback is it is so sad what they've squandered, which is their very high approval rating to where it is now. And Prince Harry might say, oh, the palace leaks and and in the book he says that the palace spoon feeds the press. Well, they don't. I haven't been spoon-fed. Nobody else has been spoon-fed. we have witnessed and we have heard from their very own mouths things that are detrimental to themselves.
Okay, but what about the claim, and I want to talk more about the book, but since you mentioned this, in the documentary where they say that, each royal family member has their own communications aides and they kind of pit them up against each family member. I mean, that seems pretty vicious within a family. How much of that is true, especially when it comes to framing stories to hurt one member of the royal family versus the other?
You're right. It does sound very vicious. Well, I can tell you from reporting, I'm sure there's no reporter you can find in the world that actually has been briefed something negative. And if you look at everything that's come out with regard to the book, the Netflix series, everything, have we heard one word formally from the palace? No. And there actually hasn't been anything that anybody can quote that's firsthand that they've said. Because why? All we're doing is witnessing what Prince Harry is saying, and he's saying all these things. So it is, unfortunately, rather one-sided. One thing I will say is that what we don't hear publicly, but that is being said, and you can really see it on his face, is that Prince Charles is on the outside coping very well, but anxious and sad are the words. And I will quote Jonathan Dimbleby, who, of course, Prince Charles interviewed with, who has said that, of course, he's saddened by this. And Prince Charles is a very gentle soul who wants to be reconciled with his son.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. I just wanted to get back to the book's details, though. Is there anything, I can't ask you to pinpoint just one detail because there's so many. But, what are some bombshells that really stand out to you? I mean, for me, it was that scuffle between William and Harry, that physical confrontation they apparently had over Meghan.
Well, Amara, if I might beg to differ, I think that they're two young men. How many young men brothers haven't had some fistfuffle, some kerfuffle during their lives? And of course, these are two military men. And actually, all the documentaries and anybody who's known them growing up, and I know a number of people who knew them growing up, this was their repertoire. They were competitive and they tumbled all the time. So I don't view that actually as so outlandish. I think the most dangerous, very serious, without anybody's opinion, factually, and you actually quoted it there from Max previously, factually, what is very dangerous, no pun intended, a bombshell from this book, is his kill count. Because when you have the head of the Taliban actually responding to that, Prince Harry has claimed that he left the royal family. One of the two reasons, one was for privacy, but then moving to LA and hiring 3 PR firms. And the second was for the safety of his family, which we can all relate to. I think many people were concerned for him and his children. Now there is danger. And not just him, the royal family, and to the other servicemen he's served with. That is the biggest bombshell.
That's a strong point. Quickly, we do have to go, but I just wanted to ask you how much of a nightmare this is for the palace, and do you think the silence at some point will be broken?
They are holding fast. They're trying to hold as a team. And the fact of that is you could see it at the Christmas caroling service that Kate Middleton, the now Princess of Wales, held. They all dressed in burgundy. Why? They are sticking together. They are never complaining and never explaining at the moment. At some juncture, I think we will see, like the Queen uttered, recollections may vary. There may be a subtle, discreet, and very taking the high road comment, yes.
Hilary Fordwich, appreciate the conversation. Thanks.
Thank you, Cameron.
And hear the story behind the royal drama in an Anderson Cooper 360 special. The Harry interview airs Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern on CNN.
It is one of the worst race massacres in American history. Today marks 100 years since the violence at Rosewood. How descendants of survivors are honoring those who were killed. That's next.